of schools breaking up last week. And for a change, the British weather isn't letting us down. But before you head down to the beach or into the garden, there's a warning from the Met Office to people in parts of England. Don't. They've issued an amber heatwave alert for parts of England until Friday. They're urging people to avoid being out in the sun when it's at its hottest, between 11 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon. It may be time to get out what we usually need in the British summer, an umbrella. Daniela Ralph reports.
A parched, dried-out landscape. This is Hertfordshire, but it could be pretty much anywhere in England. The only hint of green, the cricket pitches, which have been watered, as searing temperatures linger. At the start of another week, most of the UK schools are now on holiday, and still temperatures soar. But are there signs of heatwave fatigue?
I'm struggling. Even we've got a meeting just now and it's we had to escape the office. We don't have aircon, it's broken. The tube is, it's not pleasant to get to work.
It was good for the first 5 days, and then I think after that everyone's just got a bit loopy now with it.
Well, I'm trying to remember that it won't be like this all the time. Yeah, that's basically about it. It's awful, but I try to wake up every day and say it's great because, in a few months it won't be like this.
The Met Office has issued a heat health watch warning. That only happens during a prolonged period of high temperatures.
Well, what we're seeing this week is a run of days across central and eastern England where there's no respite from the heat and humidity. We're seeing daytime temperatures staying above 30 degrees, and by night we're seeing them stay above around 18 to 20 Celsius. And without that respite from the heat all week long, this is what's prompted Public Health England and the Met Office to issue this level 3 alert. It will start to have an impact on people's health.
At this farm in Leicestershire, they are struggling. Dried out fields, livestock without sufficient grass to eat, forcing farmers to use their stored winter feed, which is fast running out. The heat has become a significant problem for much of the farming industry.
Crops being parched to the bone, spring crops the farmers sowed in April, barely know what rain is. As you travel west towards where I am now, Wilth Wells, a little bit more rain, but I think hopefully you can see from behind me, even the tops of the hills here look a nasty colour of a biscuit, which means the grass has stopped growing.
Despite the high temperatures here, the deadliest heat wave globally is in Japan. In Tokyo, temperatures have reached 40 degrees for the first time. 11 people alone died of heat stroke at the weekend, and that number could rise dramatically in the coming days. Daniela Ralph, BBC News.
Well, joining me now, Dr. Thomas Waite, a consultant in health protection and public health England. So just explain what effect this sort of weather has on people's health generally.
Well, these high temperatures affect our health in a variety of different ways, and it's about how our bodies try to react, try to keep things the same on the inside. That means we sweat a lot, so we lose a lot of fluids and become dehydrated, but also we push a lot of blood towards the skin to lose heat that way, and that puts a big strain on the heart and other parts of the body. So people who already have some sort of health problems can be more at risk because of that.
So are those people aware of those risks? I mean, I'm assuming we're talking about the elderly and young. These are the people normally affected by things like this.
You're absolutely right. Older people, very young children who are unable to to adapt their behaviour in this sort of hot weather, but also people who have long-term health conditions, particularly heart problems or lung problems, are at high risk. But it's been hot for a long time now, and in those long heat waves we start to see health impacts in everybody, really. But there's common sense things we can all do to take precautions.
So your tips are?
Well, it's sensible things. I mean, staying hydrated is obviously very important because you lose so much fluid through sweat and so on in these temperatures, and it helps cool you down. Another thing is...
How much? I mean, are you talking about a litre over a couple of hours?
So, I mean, it does depend by a lot, but most people need a couple of litres of water anyway, so a little bit extra will do no harm. And keeping water with you, we see delays on public transport, so it's just having it available for when you're feeling hot. And keeping yourself cool is quite straightforward, but thinking that it's indoor temperatures where it can get very hot that affects people. It might be cooler in the shade, in the park, for example, or in a supermarket, an air-conditioned building. Lots of different opportunities to try and get a bit of respite from the heat.
I mean, I'm guessing that anybody who normally goes away for a summer holiday to find the sun, that they should treat this country as they would if they were in a country like that.
Well, many of us seek out high temperatures for our holidays. We like going to the beach. We like seeking out places to relax. But we change our behaviour when we do that. We wear sun cream, and sometimes people forget to wear sun cream in this country when it's hot. we remember to, we take it a bit easier, we slow down, we find the shade in the very heat of the day. People just behave a little differently, and adopting that mindset would do us all no harm this week.
There's an element of we're never happy in this country, are we, with the weather we have? People say, oh, it's been going on too long. But an element of common sense is perhaps what we're lacking here, is it?
Much of this advice is common sense, but it has been a pretty extraordinary year for weather in this country, and you say people have been commenting on it. Of course, the beast from the east was just a few months ago, and say 12 weeks after that, 3-4 months, some places were -10, and we're then +30. That's a 40-degree range in temperatures in one place. That's quite a range, so we do see some pretty extreme weather in this country, especially this year.
Now, people watching you right now in the northwest of England and parts of Scotland are going, hang on a minute, it's pouring outside. You lot in the south don't know how to behave when you see a bit of sunshine. But we've seen this weather everywhere at some point in the last few weeks. And the message is, anywhere in this country, the sun can be dangerous.
Absolutely, and of course the Met Office heat health alerts that have been issued vary by region, so you're right, the northeast, the northwest, there aren't heatwave alerts in place at the moment. In other places there are, but we review that every day with the Met Office and with others to make sure that we've got sort of the most accurate forecast, the most accurate information we can. We could all take one more step to keep cool, to keep our homes cool, to keep an eye on people who we know are vulnerable, just to make sure that we all get through and enjoy another week of good weather.
Dr. Thomas Waite, thank you very much.
Thank you.